With me now is Bonnie Lysyk, Ontario's Auditor General, for a little while more at least. Good morning. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So the report is scathing. You call the process biased, indefensible. The opposition says it's corrupt. Ford says the buck stops with him, but he won't accept your recommendation to reconsider the Greenbelt removals. Are you disappointed? How do you feel now that the report is out there and everybody's had a chance to digest it?
Yeah, I think the report does provide the information that people wanted to know and how the lands were selected. The point of the recommendation that we had in there that indicated, that the decision warrants revisiting stems from the fact that if you have a premier and you have the minister indicating to us that they did not know what the process was to remove the lands from the green belt, and now that you know that the lands were removed through a process that is, inappropriate, it stands to reason that it's worthy of a relook. So we would still hope that there would be consideration of looking at this process. If you accept a process that is so flawed like this one was and gave preferential treatment to certain people, I'm not sure what that says. I think it says that down the road, a similar type of process could reoccur, and there would still be acceptance of that type of process. And really, there shouldn't be.
Well, a lot of people watching this unfold want more investigation, more accountability, even charges. Yet you stopped short of making that recommendation yesterday when pressed by reporters a number of times on that question. How come?
Our job is to look and see what happened here. And so what we did look at, we thought there would be more work that would have been done in looking at the environmental impacts, the agricultural impacts, the financial impacts of removing this land. And we didn't see that was the case. So that took us then into trying to understand what happened. Now that we understand what happened, we've put that report there. We made our recommendations 14, 15. But it really is up to, in some cases, the Integrity Commissioner, because we did have a recommendation in there to assess whether or not the Chief of Staff to the Minister of Housing acted contrary to the Public Sector Act of Ontario. So that is his purview. In terms of the OPP or the Attorney General's office, we have information in there. If they want to talk to us, we'll be talking to them. But that is there's different roles there. So ours is to bring to the table the information that we pull together for the purposes of responding to the request from the three opposition leaders of the legislature.
Yesterday, we heard from Premier Ford that the buck stops with him. Is that essentially what he said to you when the two of you met and had a conversation about this?
The Premier indicated that he was not aware of how the lands were selected, and I do know that we did receive cooperation from the Chief of Staff to the Premier as well as the Secretary of the Cabinet in the provincial government, and they indicated that there was government acceptance of the 14 recommendations, and wording it like that, it would be the acceptance by the Premier as well of the 14 recommendations. So I'm not surprised that he said that.
Do you believe the Premier? Did you believe him at the time?
I have no reason not to. I asked both the Minister and the Premier very directly, did you know how these lands were selected? Did you at any point ask people to submit information on these lands? And in both cases, I received the answer no. So, hence we put the recommendation in the report because, again, if a decision is made and all the information isn't on the table when that decision is made to go forward with, in this case, moving those lands from the Greenbelt, one would expect the decision to be revisited based on new information.
At the very least, do you think Ryan Amato, the Chief of Staff or the Minister, should resign?
Again, that's not my call. I think what, and Mr. Amato did meet with us, but at the end of the day, that is a decision, I do believe, for the Premier, for the Minister of Housing, for the Integrity Commissioner, and for the Secretary of the Cabinet to make.
Your tenure term as AG is about to expire. What are your parting thoughts, knowing that this is your last report? Again, a scathing one, a tough one. This is a scandal in the province of Ontario. How do you feel leaving on this note, Bonnie?
I think I'm glad we were able to work to complete this report. So I feel that I'm leaving with some type of closure around that issue. Although I do appreciate there's more that will be discussed after, but I am leaving behind. I feel very proud of a solid office of professionals that are familiar with this file, that are familiar with the role of our office. And so, over the years, I've spent the time nurturing people in the office, learning from them as well. But I feel the office itself is solid and in a good place going forward. And I wish my successor the best, and I know that they're going to have a strong, solid team to support them going forward.
Do you have any advice for whoever your successor is?
Yeah, I guess I would say that, you focus on the work, focus on your office. Make sure you think that the ultimate recipient of our reports is the legislature as well as the people of Ontario. And don't forget that. We're sort of an oversight accountability function. And it's important for us as an office to make sure that we do work that provides for transparency on information for the citizens of Ontario. So I would say just continue doing what the office has done for, over nearly 140 years.
Bonnie Lysyk, Ontario's Auditor General, thank you so much for your time with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.